Hi, thank you for joining us on this episode of Sports Bets for Free. My name is Scott Jenkins, your host, just a local sports bettor here in Phoenix, Arizona. And hopefully today with our picks and your picks, it's going to be another profitable day for you. NFL Week 12, we get into the Sunday slate on November 26th. A lot of looks like I think 10 games or so going on. Still, we did get through 4 games, 3 Thursday, 1 Black Friday game. Turned out pretty well for that after the Lions end up losing, but the rest of the game is very profitable, and then the game yesterday profitable as well. So we'll get into the Sunday slate. We're going to get started off Jacksonville at Houston against the Texans. Jacksonville 1.5 point favorite, total of 47.5. So let's break this game down. Jags have one of the best run defenses in the NFL. Texans don't run the ball a heck of a whole lot. They throw the ball all over the place. Jacksonville has one of the most disjointed offenses that seems to score. Besides for the one game against San Francisco, won like 6 out of the last 7. Houston's been on a little bit of a run as well. This is probably for the AFC South crown. So who's going to come away with the victory? We are all on the CJ Stroud story. I love it. Love to see rookies do well, especially rookie quarterbacks. It brings new life in the league. All that good stuff. Trevor Lawrence was still one of the better prospects, maybe at least since Andrew Luck. And their defense is better than that Texans defense. And I think last week they kind of they put up a bunch of points last week to kind of offset any other ideas as well. So we do like the Jags here. So we are going to play the Jags -1.5 first quarter, -1.5 first half, and -1.5 for the game. CJ Stroud to throw an interception. Calvin Ridley over 54.5 receiving yards as they seem to find him again. It only took from week 1 to week 11. As they found him in week 1, he didn't do shit again until week 11. Tank Dell over 43.5 reception. Tank Dell over 4.5 receptions. And we like the Jags over 12.5 team total first half, over 23.5 team total for the game. And Brandon McManus over 1.5 field goals, as he seems to be an automatic 2 field goals every time they play. I think this game's going to be tight. I think it's a field goal. And there may be some back and forth. But do we really expect the Texans to go beat good teams as well? I understand they beat up on the bad teams, and they should. They got lucky to get away with that win against the Cardinals, even though they didn't cover. If the Cardinals wouldn't have been so stupid with their decisions to go for touchdowns or go for 2 instead of kicking field goals, they would have easily won that game, I think, at the end there instead of having to go for a touchdown. So I think they caught a bit of a break getting a win there. But I think the Jags kind of bring them back to a little bit of reality. So we'll go through it again. Jags -1.5 first quarter, 1.5 first half, and 1.5 for the game. Calvin Ridley over 54.5 receiving yards. Tank Dell over 4.5 receptions. Jags over 12.5 team total first half, over 23.5 team total for the game. And Brandon McManus for his patented 2 field goals plus. We'll get into the next game on the slate. That's going to be Panthers-Titans. We do not have a wager in this game. I can't figure the Titans out. I thought I had them nailed after the first week of Will Levis, and then they've resorted back to this shell of we need to run the ball and do a bunch of 3 and outs. The Panthers, because the offensive line can't seem to move the ball at all, and they can't play complementary football to go with it, so therefore it makes it even tougher. Titans on the road, I'm not going to give the Titans, I'm not laying 3.5 with the Titans against anybody. So we're going to pass on that game. Titans -3.5 at home, 36.5 total. Next game up, Steelers-Bengals. That line has moved to 2. Steelers favored by 2. 36.5 total. I understand the Steelers can't score, but I don't know if you watched Jake Browning last week. If you did, how can you believe that the Bengals can score in this one? So I don't know how you don't take the Steelers in this. I'm shocked the line's only 2. But we did take money line earlier in the week to even eliminate that. So we did take Pittsburgh money line first quarter, money line first half, and money line for the game. We also like Deontay Johnson to get his receiving yards at over 53.5. And then basically it's 3 unders on the Bengals. So the Bengals under the 17.5 team total. Bengals under 1.5 touchdowns. And Jake Browning under 205.5 pass yards. I don't think he can throw the ball against the Steelers. I don't think they're going to be able to run the ball, maybe a little bit against the Steelers, but not a ton with just Mixon. This season is absolutely shot with Burrow hitting the IR, and Jake Browning's not the answer. So one more time in this Pittsburgh and the Steelers-Bengals, Pittsburgh money line first quarter, first half in game. Then we've got Deontay Johnson over 53.5 receiving yards. Bengals under 17.5 team total. Bengals under 1.5 touchdowns. And Jake Browning under 205.5 passing yards in that particular matchup. Next game up, Buccaneers, Colts. Bucks, 2.5-point road dog going to Indy, 44.5 total in that particular matchup. Let's break this game down. So Gardner Minshew again going against the Bucks. Now, the Bucks have struggled with the mighty teams, no question about it. But they have beaten up on, how do I put this? They tend to beat the bad teams. The Colts are one of those teams. They're not a good team. They're not a team that's going to go out and score a bunch of points, so the Bucks can't fall so far behind they can't catch up. The Bucks can't run the ball, but they can throw it. Baker Mayfield's been throwing the ball all over the yard. Continue to expect that. The Colts, on the other hand, have been able to run the ball, but the Buccaneers defense has been able to stop the run. So now you're going to put the ball in Gardner Minshew's hands. We like our odds when that happens. So therefore, we are going to ride with the Bucks in this particular game. So Bucks plus a half first quarter, Bucks plus a half first half, Bucks plus 2.5 for the game. Baker Mayfield over 1.5 passing touchdowns, and Rachaad White over 27.5 receiving yards. As he's hit this mark in 5 consecutive games, they're starting to find him more in the passing game. Baker's been a little quicker to the check down instead of throwing it in triple coverage to Mike Evans. So we do like that there. So one more time in that Bucks-Colts game, Bucks plus a half first quarter, Bucks plus a half first half, Bucks plus 2.5 for the game. Rachaad White over 27.5 receiving yards, and Rachaad White over 27. And Baker Mayfield for over 1.5 passing touchdowns. Next game up, Saints-Falcons. Falcons 1.5-point home dog, total of 41.5. This goes back to Fortenbaugh's don't want to watch anybody in the NFC South in prime time and don't want to watch them in the game, but we do have one bet and one bet only here, and it's a pretty simple one. It is Derek Carr under 1.5 passing touchdowns. So one more time in that game, Derek Carr under 1.5 passing touchdowns. They're only playing that matchup. And then we get into the last game of the early window, Patriots-Giants. Giants 4-point home dog, 34 total, a whole 34 going on here. Don't expect a lot of scoring in this game. Don't expect Tommy DeVito to have the week he did last week. Yada, yada, and yada. So we are going to take the under 34 total, under 6.5 total first quarter, under 16.5 total first half. DeVito under 177.5 pass yards, as I don't think they're going to be fling it like they did against the Commanders. And Tommy DeVito for an interception. So one more time in that game, under 6.5 total first quarter, under 16.5 total first half, under 34 total for the game. DeVito under 177.5 pass yards, and DeVito an interception. Then we're going to get to the afternoon window where we have a lot more action as the early games leave a little bit to be desired, except maybe for Jags, Texans on that one. So next game up, Rams, Cardinals. Cardinals 2.5-point home dog, 45.5 total in that matchup. And we're going back to the well. Ever since Kyler Murray came back, they've covered 2 straight games. We think it's going to be a third. So Cardinals money line first quarter. Cardinals plus a half first half. Cardinals plus 2.5 for the game. Kyler Murray over 34.5 rushing yards and over 214.5 pass yards. And Cardinals over 20.5 team total. That was an alternate team total, by the way. I know it's 21.5, but we like that 21 number better. So one more time in that Cardinals-Rams game, as it should be, I expect a game in the low 20s from both sides. I mean, neither defense is stellar. Neither offense is stellar. So it should be, I mean, if the Rams could run the ball a little bit more effectively, then I would say the Rams are going to win this game and run away from it, because the Cardinals' run defense is poor. Their pass defense is a little bit better. They're probably still going to have to throw the ball around. Stafford is. So we're going to run with the Cardinals, like I said. Cardinals money line first quarter, +0.5 first half, +2.5 for the game. Kyler Murray over 34.5 rush yards and over 214.5 pass yards. Cardinals over alternate team total 20.5 in that particular matchup there. Next game up, Browns-Broncos. So Browns are a 1.5 point road dog going to Denver. The line has moved quite a bit on the total. So the line opened at 35 where we got it. This must have been Tuesday, Wednesday through the week. It's now up to 37. Here's why we like the over. Cleveland has the best scoring defense at home, where they give up an average of, let's say, right around 5 points. On the road, they have the worst scoring defense in the league, or close to it, around 29th to 30th in the league. In scoring defense, giving up over 20, I think over 25, 26 points a game on the road. I understand there's a defense in home road. This road home split for the scoring D is way distorted. Broncos have been able to put some points up lately. I don't know if the Browns are going to put up a ton here, but I do expect the Broncos to put up 24. A 24-14 game gets us home. We're basically just betting the totals here. Over 6.5 total first quarter, over 17.5 total first half, and over 35 for the game. One more time, over 6.5 total first quarter, over 17.5 total first half, and over 35 for the game of that Browns-Broncos. Like I said, that line's moved to 37. I still like it over at 37 on that one there. So next game up, Bills-Eagles in Philly. Philly, 3-point home favorite. Thought they would be more there. Line looks a little trappy, as the Bills have not played well against the better teams in the league. They scored 32 against the Jets, but the Dolphins just put up a huge number against the Jets as well, as they seem to just die out and crap defensively, as they have no offense to keep them off the field. 48.5 total there in this particular matchup. We like several things in this game. Unfortunately, we're not going to play a side or a total. What we do like is some player props. A.J. Brown over 6.5 receptions at plus money. A.J. Brown over 81.5 receiving yards. Dalton Kincaid over 4.5 receptions. This is very juiced to the over, by the way. And over 48.5 receiving yards. So basically you need 7 catches for 82 on A.J. Brown, and we need 5 for 49 on Dalton Kincaid to cash these tickets. But we'll run through that one more time for you. A.J. Brown over 6.5 receptions and over 81.5 receiving yards. Dalton Kincaid over 4.5 receptions and over 48.5 receiving yards. Next game up, Chiefs at the Raiders. This line is somewhere between 9 and 10, depending on what book you're looking at. 43.5 total. I think the Chiefs are going to get a little bit right here offensively. I'm not saying it's going to be a masterpiece, but I think they're going to be able to move the ball a little bit more effectively than they did against Philly. So we are going to take the Chiefs minus 2.5 first quarter, minus 5.5 first half, and minus 9 for the game. Chiefs over 13.5 team total first half and over 26.5 team total for the game. I understand the Chiefs in the second half have been one of the worst offenses in the league. I think they're going to try to put the hammer down a little bit more in the second half than they have before on that. But they've been one of the best first half scoring offenses. It's just been a tale of two halves. It's been crazy. So if they throw the ball to Rashee Rice, I think we got something cooking there. Like I said, I don't understand. I've said this in multiple episodes before about how they did not target him more or put him more in the game. He ends up right at his number at 42 last week, so we're going over 42.5 receiving yards. We're also taking his over longest reception at 18.5. Chris Jones over 0.75 sacks, so he needs 1 sack to cash, or 2 halves. Aiden O'Connell interception. And then Mahomes over 23.5 completions and over 33.5 pass attempts. And this is going to be one of our prop bet of the days for tomorrow as well. So just keep that in mind. So we'll run through this Chiefs game again. Like I said, I think the Raiders bubble burst a little bit last week, not being able to win. They had a couple nice ones. They go face Miami, and they're going to face another team like that in the Chiefs. I don't think the Chiefs, though, are going to give away like 3 turnovers and not put points on the board for those. So if Aiden O'Connell continues to throw an interception, which we got him for one, I think that's a huge bonus for the Chiefs and a way for them victory-wise. So Chiefs -2.5 first quarter, -5.5 first half, -9 for the game. Team total over 13.5 first half for the Chiefs. Team total over 26.5 team total for the game. Mahomes over 23.5 completions. Mahomes over 33.5 pass attempts. Aiden O'Connell to throw a pick. Rashee Rice over 42.5 receiving yards and over 18.5 yards for his longest reception. And Chris Jones over 3/4 of a sack. That'll get us into Sunday Night Football. Ravens, Chargers in LA. Chargers 3-point home dog, 48.5 total. Kind of a hard game to figure out, like player prop wise. We're probably going to add a couple things here, but we do like the Ravens in this particular matchup. I just think offensively they can compete firepower wise with the Chargers, and defensively they are much, much better. So Ravens -0.5 first quarter, Ravens -1.5 first half, and -3 for the game. We also like the Ravens over the 26.5 team total. So one more time in that matchup, Ravens -0.5 first quarter, -1.5 first half, and over 26.5, and the Ravens over 26.5 team total. I think the game might be tight. Ravens winning by a touchdown wouldn't shock me in the least, or winning by 6. The Chargers are coming down, need to score a touchdown in order to take the lead or tie, and can't do it because Staley does something Staley-like. But that's how we kind of look at that particular matchup there. So that's going to wrap up Sunday football. Monday night, we'll get back into that. We'll have some plays for you for the Monday night game with the Bears and the Vikings. Nothing played as of yet. That line's still at 3. If that does move to 2.5, we'll probably be a little bit more on that one. The slate's not extremely heavy due to the fact that we've already had 4 games so far this week with Thanksgiving week, as that makes it a little bit more difficult, but that is okay. There's plenty of money to be made. So at the end of this episode, in the comments section, you will see a link to our Google Sheets. This will have a list of all of our bets, what juice we got those at, how many units we placed, and what book we placed those at. So make sure you check that out when you get some time. It's our ledger. So if you're looking for the football bets, you're going to go to 23-24 football, and then scroll down to NFL Week 12 for all of these plays. College football going on as well if you want to look at college football. And also basketball, if you want to check that out, it's under the basketball 23-24 tab to take a look at those. And as always, if you could subscribe and get notifications to the YouTube channel, so every time we drop our bets, you get notified first. Give you plenty of time to match them up with your bets and give you a ton of confidence you need heading to that betting app or betting window. I do appreciate everybody's support as always and look forward to seeing you on the next episode.